Hello again. It's a busy day here at the clinic today, but I thought I'd still take a few moments and jump in and talk to you about some of the causes and triggers of ADHD. A lot of parents are not aware that this is a multifactorial, multi-layered problem, and I apologize for all the crying out there, but we are a pediatric clinic. We see lots of kids ages 0 to 21. And what's happening with ADHD and why it is reversible is because we can actually discover the underpinning causes. And so it makes it fun, right? It makes it doable. It makes it that we can actually dig in and do some testing and figure out what are some of these causes. So typically you hear it's three main culprits, which is diet, lifestyle, and genetics. So we all know that genetics load the gun, but the environment pulls the trigger. And what that really means is genetics is what you have, what you're born with. We cannot change that. It's the blueprint that you were made with, but it takes the impact of the environment to express the genetics. So you're not locked into your genetics. It doesn't mean that this is a death sentence in any way, shape, or form. We just have to manipulate the environment to enhance the expression of the genes. This is a science now called epigenetics, and a lot of people have been studying it. And it's a really fascinating study. So back to the topic today, what are some of the three big triggers for ADHD? So other than genetics, which could be things like celiac disease or other autoimmune diseases, we know that we can change the diet, for example, with celiac and remove gluten, and then we won't have celiac anymore and the child will be healthy. So that's one way of manipulating the environment compared to the diet, compared to the genetics. Other things that are triggers are deficiencies or excesses in the nutrients. So if someone is not eating enough protein or not eating enough fruits and vegetables, there could be mineral, vitamin deficiencies, there could be amino acid and protein deficiency, there could be essential fatty acid deficiency. That's why we supplement with omega-3, for example. But if someone is deprived in some of these key essential nutrients that the body cannot make, we have to consume them to have them in our body, then it is important to test for that and figure out, what is the deficiency. And maybe there's several. Maybe there's also some excesses, like excess copper or excess zinc, or I don't know, excess whatever nutrient, iron maybe comes to mind. Those are things we want to actually rebalance in the body, and we can easily do that after we know what the test shows. Another thing to look at is toxicities. So toxicities come in different formats as well. It could be environmental chemical toxicities. We know we swim in a soup of exhaust and chemicals and fumes from industrial companies around us. So we're surrounded by toxins, and if our body is genetically vulnerable, like our liver doesn't clear the toxins properly, or we have something getting in the way of that detox process, then those toxins start to build in the body and cause inflammation in the brain, and that can trigger then the symptoms of ADHD, for example. But there are other toxins. These could be internal biological toxins. So if we have mold, if we have yeast, if we have bacterial overgrowth, certain bacteria like Clostridia are definitely very, involved in the development of ADHD because they impair the neurotransmitter production of dopamine. So we need to know those things. It's not something we can look at a person on an exam and decipher. We really have to run specialized testing to figure out, what is the problem underpinning their symptoms. So those are some highlights of the things that could be an issue in children with ADHD. And it is important to analyze the whole picture, not just to do one or two tests, but to really look at the gut, the brain, the microbiome, the cell chemistry and physiology, and examine the whole picture to decipher which piece of the puzzle needs to be acted on, and maybe there's multiple pieces we need to look at and go from there. So I hope this helps. We are now launching a new practice called Cedars Functional Medicine, which is more virtual practice. I'm still at Covington Pediatrics as well, and I can see people in person. So depending on your state where you live, contact me and I will help you to know which practice to seek me out at. But I can do this work in multiple states, including Florida, Oregon, and Georgia. And I'm more than happy to support you and support your child. And I do say support you because a lot of times parents also suffer from symptoms of ADHD and anxiety, and I can work with you in the same way. So let me know if you're interested. Just send me a DM and I'll be happy to guide you on the best path to choose. And follow for more, because I'm going to come up with more videos, hopefully, to guide you and instruct you and educate you on how functional medicine is a whole different approach to medicine, and it's really the best way to proceed forward. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.